Hello grade 10 and welcome to your third online lecture. Our theme is still environmental issues and our lesson today is called Could Bicycle Highways Revolutionize Daily Commute? Bicycle highways, as several of you might know or all of you might know, are special roads, huge roads, not small roads that stretch. By the end of this lecture, this is what I expect you to be able to do. Discuss ideas related to eco-friendly vehicles such as bicycles and the phenomenon of highways built to ease commuting via this vehicle in Germany. Eco-friendly, we took this from last year. Eco means environment. It's the short word for ecosystem. If anything is eco-friendly, it means that it does not hurt the environment. And when people, more and more people in Europe, this is a widespread phenomenon, commute, the word commute means going a certain distance to your work. More and more people in Europe are commuting via or through with bicycles. As we all know, bicycles are eco-friendly. Why? Because they do not produce carbon dioxide, which pollutes the air and causes global warming. 2, you're supposed to figure out the meanings of unfamiliar vocab words using context clues. Answer different comprehension questions related to the lesson. Answer organizational skills questions related to title, type of introduction and thesis, and analyze a chart. Before I begin our lesson today, I would like to go again through those skills because this is the first time you take them. Okay, we didn't take these in depth in 9th grade. We just went through how we answer questions related to the title briefly and the thesis. In 9th grade, you did not take types of introduction. So I'm going to go through them again, even though I explained them in the previous 2 lectures. But I want to make sure that these ideas are well understood before we proceed further. So, title. What is the title? Basically, it's a condensed summary, a concentrated summary of the main idea of the text. Sample questions. This is how I'm going to ask you such a question on a quiz or a test. What is the significance of the title? I gave a title of my own. Light pollution in Los Angeles and its effect on different species. What is the significance of the title? Your answer would be the title, Light Pollution in Los Angeles and its effect on different species, is a condensed summary of the main idea of the text, and the ideas are fully explained in the body paragraphs. You can also say the ideas are fully elaborated instead of explained. Both are perfectly correct. This is concerning the title. For any further questions you might have, you can go back through the beginning pages of your ebook and you can ask me questions in our live Zoom lecture. Second skill, the thesis statement. As we said before, the thesis could be either explicit, directly stated, present in the text, generally in the last sentence, but not all the time, or implicit, the writer just implies it but never really states it in words. How do I ask you questions related to the thesis? Sample question 1 for explicit thesis statements. Is the thesis statement in the above article explicit or implied? Justify your answer. Your answer would be in the article Electric Cars as a Solution to Carbon Pollution. The thesis statement is stated directly. And this is how you proceed. Again, this is very important. It is the last sentence of the introduction. Now you need to justify. Why do you think it's the thesis statement? What made you think it's the thesis statement? Of course, in order to answer such a question, you should have already read the whole article carefully to know whether this is the central idea of your article. You justify it, you've already read the article carefully because it holds the main idea of the article, which is how electric cars will solve the issue of carbon pollution in the air, mainly things related to carbon like carbon dioxide, okay, and other hydrocarbons. The ideas are fully explained continue like that. The ideas are fully explained and elaborated in the text. And that's it. This is if it's explicit or directly stated. Now, if it's implicit, not directly stated, I would say the thesis of the above article, Reasons Behind Wildfires in the Amazon, is implied and not directly stated by the author. After reading the text carefully, provide a good thesis for the article. Again, in order to do so, you're going to have to go and read the whole article carefully and give me a thesis statement. This is what you might answer. A good thesis statement for the above article would be: the fierce wildfires, remember that it's about the reasons behind wildfires in the Amazon. A good thesis statement for the above article would be: the fierce wildfires that have recently taken place in the Amazon stem or are resulted from different reasons, such as arson. Arson is purposely lighting a fire on purpose, like a lot of this happens with wildfires. Heat, like the temperatures we're experiencing now, more than 40 degrees, and this could trigger wildfires, as you might have seen happening in Lebanon and recently California. And government neglect. So what's going to be in the article? Of course, the article talked about how arson, it probably in one paragraph, is related to this, how heat, and how the government's neglect or lack of a plan to protect the forest have resulted in this. These ideas are fully explained in the body paragraph, and you will get a perfect score here. Again, for further questions, don't hesitate to ask me next time we meet. Third skill we took for this week, types of introduction. An author, remember that the introduction is where you give your impression. As an author, you want to do these things: catch the reader's attention, arouse their curiosity to read more, introduce the main idea of the text, and put the reader in the general atmosphere of the text. So obviously, your article's introduction needs to be attractive and grab the reader's attention. Let's see the 5 most common types of introduction used by authors. A very popular one is an anecdote. As I said previously, it's like a short story or account of an unusual or interesting event, told usually to entertain or make a point. Let's say in the case of wildfires, the author is writing about wildfires in California, and he would begin the story with how the house of a certain celebrity, and he would be, for example, making an interview with a Hollywood celebrity whose house was on fire. Okay, so this way he or she would grab the reader's attention. Or maybe they would talk to a person whose house was about a person whose house was burnt in a certain village in Lebanon due to wildfires. Historical introduction, as we said previously, is giving a historical background to what you're going to talk about. Let's say you're talking about infections, or the antibiotic penicillin. You would begin by telling how it was Alexander Fleming who first invented it in the year blah blah, etc. Okay, so you introduce it by giving a historical background to your topic. General to specific, a popular method. We are talking about, in this article we're going to read, we're talking about bicycle commuting as being eco-friendly and solving a lot of problems for the ecosystem and for the traffic jams. We begin, first of all, by talking about different types of vehicles which cause pollution, and then we would go into more detail that there are several types of vehicles that do not cause pollution. And then in our thesis statement, we will talk about bicycles, which are eco-friendly, and the government is building highways to make commuting easier by bicycles. We went from the general, we're talking about vehicles in general, and then to the more specific, talking about the eco-friendly and very practical vehicle of bicycles. Interesting facts and statistics, you will see a lot of this in the articles you read. You just, if you want, you can also say interesting, shocking facts or statistics, because what you're doing here when you say that, for example, 75% of smokers will die of a disease related to smoking. Okay, what are you doing here? You're shocking your reader. Why? To arouse their curiosity and want them to read more. Series of questions. It's a very good type of introduction, and it's good to use in your essays if you want to grab the reader's attention. Do you see what's going on around you? Have you witnessed the burning of several of the forests in your country, some of them dating back to thousands of years? Is the government doing enough to protect our ecosystem? This is all in the introduction, then you write your thesis statement. Why are you doing that? To grab your reader's attention, of course, and to make them want to read more. Sample question. What type of introduction does the writer use? How does this type affect the reader? You need to, as I said previously, you need to tell me the type, going back to the one I talked about last time, in the text entitled Early Marriage Among Females in Developing Nations, meaning poor nations that have not yet developed economically and socially. The author begins her article with an interesting fact, and tell me what this fact is. You tell me the type, you tell me your clue or clues, you show me some facts here, some statistics, and then you tell me what purpose that type serves. And as I told you, I want 3 purposes. You should know those, you should memorize them, and from now until we return back, they should be like something you do all the time, okay? This method serves to capture the reader's attention, arouse their curiosity, and introduce the main idea of the text, which is about early marriage in developing countries. So here you would have a complete answer. Sample question number 2. What is the function of the first paragraph in the above article? Here, I didn't mention the type. I'm not asking you for the type. Okay, this is how you will answer. Function, what is it doing in the article? You would answer, depending on the article of course, but this is a sample answer. The first paragraph of the text entitled with the title of, this means with the title of, Early Marriage Among Females in Developing Countries, serves as an introduction to the text. You need to tell me. I didn't say what is the function of the introduction. I'm telling you what is the first paragraph. So you would tell me that the first paragraph serves as an introduction of the text. It contains, why do you think it's an introduction? It contains the thesis statement of the text, which is fully elaborated and discussed in the body paragraphs. As we go on this year, you will find different ways of asking and different ways of answering. We will practice a lot of those, and once you master those in 10th grade, you are ready for 11th grade English and you are ready for 12th grade English. It will be just simple stuff for you, okay? Now, finally, the relation between the introduction and the conclusion. I talked about this last time. The conclusion and the introduction are generally very related. What does a conclusion do? A conclusion basically restates the thesis, summarizes what was said in, and summarizes what was said in the introduction. That's how they are related. Let's take a look at the sample questions. In what ways are the introductory and concluding paragraph of the above text thematically related? How are they related? What is the thematic relationship between the introduction and conclusion? Sample answer. The introductory paragraph introduces the topic and presents the thesis statement, which focuses on, please, you need to write this. Let's say which focuses on the reasons behind wildfires in the Amazon last year. The concluding paragraph restates the same idea, gives a final opinion, and leaves the reader with future expectations or a call for action or a final thought if you want. In this sense, you finish it this way. In this sense, the two paragraphs are thematically related. Again and again, I remind you, all those are clearly explained in the beginning pages of your ebook. So please refer to them when needed. Another way I might ask you the question, what is the importance of the concluding paragraph? Easy. The concluding paragraph restates the same idea introduced in the introductory paragraph and presented by the thesis statement, which focuses on, again, reasons behind wildfires in the Amazon last year. It also gives a final opinion and leaves the reader with future expectations or call for action if you want. Okay? So this is it for the skills. I hope you understand them better now. Our lesson is called, Could Bicycle Highways Revolutionize Daily Commute? Could they make this daily commute to work easier for the millions and millions of workers worldwide that go to work? Commuting, here I defined it for you, is a regular journey of some distance to and from work. Okay, many people commute by walking, many people commute by bike, there's people who commute by bus, many commute by cars. The difference is that bicycles are eco-friendly, they're much smaller, they don't cause traffic jams. So let's read this interesting article. Of course, we begin with the blurb as usual. Read the following article about how Germany is building highways for bicycle commuting to solve the issues related to traffic and pollution. So, lesser traffic jam and lesser carbon dioxide in the air. Paragraph 1. In 2010, when the motorway between the German cities of Duisburg and Dortmund was closed as part of a cultural project, 3 million people walked, skated, or cycled along the road. For one day only, it had been transformed into a gigantic city boulevard. Then, spatial planner Martin Tons took the opportunity to cycle from Essen to Dortmund. Those are two different cities. He went cycling from this place to this place. There were so many people that, for the first time in my life, I experienced a bicycle traffic jam, he recalls. But when we saw this mass of people cycling down the motorway, or the highway if you want, we understood that there was a real demand. Okay, people needed this. This is what spatial planner. A spatial planner is a person who plans space in cities and towns and even villages. They should exist in every government's plan in order to make good roads. This here is a residential area. This here is a cultural area. This here is a shopping area. This is what a spatial planner does. He plans what a town or city or a village needs to look like. So he saw that when this highway was closed, people were so excited, were cycling up and down the highway. So he felt that there was a demand. What happened? In December 2015, the first bicycle highway in Germany was opened. A highway just like this one you see in the picture, just for bicycle. I mean, these guys are lucky. Between the western cities of Molheim and Ruhr and Essen. It is the first stretch of what is going to be the biggest bicycle highway in the world, 62 miles long, connecting 10 cities and 4 universities. Imagine how thrilled the students are to hear such news. You're talking about 10 cities, millions of people. Germany is a big country, and 4 universities, thousands and thousands of students will be able to commute by bike without getting stuck in traffic jam with cars and without feeling afraid that they will be overrun by cars or whatever. Moving on, paragraph 4. When the network is complete, it will remove 50,000 cars from the road. Imagine how much carbon dioxide these 50,000 cars would have produced, with an associated decrease of 16,000 tons of carbon dioxide emissions. Emissions are what's giving off, okay, emitting carbon dioxide. The noun is emissions, according to the Regional Association rule. This new bicycle highway is very different from the narrow painted strip, it's bigger, which cyclists have to make to do in German cities, often risking collisions with motorized traffic. So they are fully segregated, meaning separated from cars. Okay, look at this here. Okay, only for bicycles. A 62-mile bicycle highway. This is the one I'm talking about. Look at the landscape around it. It's just so beautiful. Not only do you not have to have cars next to you or anything, but you also have this beautiful scene when you are pedaling this 62-mile highway. This is another picture. This is a bigger, much bigger bicycle highway in Germany, only for bicycles, going to Dortmund. Most of you are probably familiar with the city of Dortmund. It has one of the most popular football clubs. Now, tons again, the spatial planner clarifies that around 1.6 million people live within 1.25 miles of the bicycle highway's route. And there are 150,000 students and 430,000 jobs. All of those would be able to commute by bike. Moving on to paragraph 6. The term bicycle highway sounds very luxurious. It's like a luxury, something for only privileged people. So we prefer to talk of fast cycle connections, says Dr. Spape, who is often consulted by traffic planners. Okay, moving on. Paragraph 7, finally. Munich, which you probably know, a large city in Germany, is now considering building a bicycle highway to its northern suburbs. Suburbs are the areas around a city. We believe the bike is the answer to traffic and environmental problems. Again, the bicycle is solving two huge issues: traffic jams and environmental problems like air pollution. Bicycle highways, started here. Bicycle highways are also a way to promote a healthier lifestyle. Again, when you pedal or cycle to a place, you are making sports, you are working out, you are helping your heart and your cardiovascular system and your muscles. So it is not only eco-friendly and relieves from traffic jams, it also helps you health-wise. There remains one problem to be solved. Okay, this comes with an issue. Finance. Finance means money. Where are they going to get all that money from? And we're talking Germany here, of course. Bicycle highways are not cheap. Indeed, the costs vary between 500,000 euros to 2 million euros per kilometer. Guys, just 1 kilometer would cost this much. So if Germany is struggling to build those highways, I mean, I don't think they'll be found anytime soon in places like Lebanon or other developing countries. So hoping this would be a trend in the future for all countries in the world. Now, I'm going to answer part A with you. Answer the following questions in complete sentences using your own words. Based on paragraph 1 and 2, what motivated the German authorities, meaning the government, people in the government, to plan for building a bicycle highway through the Ruhr Highway? Of course, it's in paragraphs 1 and 2. In 2010, this is the answer, when the motorway between the German cities of Duisburg and Dortmund was temporarily shut down, around 3 million people took the opportunity to use it for walking, skating, and cycling. When the authorities saw a huge number of people cycling down the highway, they knew there was a real demand for building a bicycle highway. 2, according to paragraph 4, what are the chances of a cyclist getting hit by a speeding car on the bicycle highway? There is little chance for collision since they are fully segregated. This is why it's so good. You do not have to pedal or cycle with a car next to you that could collide into you and kill you any second. They are separated. 3, point out the difficulty that could delay, set back the construction or the building of bicycle highway. It was one problem, financing or money. Where are they going to get all that money from? Okay. Now I'm going to answer one more question with you, part F. I answered exercise A, and now exercise F, B, C, D, and E will be in your worksheet. Now part F, we took last year in 9th grade chart analysis. It's an analysis of charts, tables, bar graphs, etc. We do all those in one way. And as you remember, for such questions, the answer is made up of 3 parts: the topic sentence, the analysis itself, and what you conclude, the conclusion, and all written in one paragraph. I'm going to go through it step by step with you, so please listen carefully. F. The following pie chart, what you see in front of you is a pie chart, depicts or shows the type of commuting used daily in a European town in 2019. What can you conclude from this chart? Your answer should be in paragraph 1. Guys, even if I asked you a single question like this, your answer should be made of 3 parts: topic sentence, analysis, and conclusion. Let's take a look at this pie chart. This European city in Germany also, guys, 45% of people go to work, commute meaning go to work, by bicycle, followed by buses, followed by walking, followed by last cars. Only 10% go by car. So, part 1, as I said, when you are given such a chart, you are asked to analyze it and draw a conclusion about it. So these are the steps. Every time you do it this way, no matter what I ask you, when you see a chart, a graph, a pie chart, a bar graph, a table, whatever, you start with the topic sentence, which you take directly from the title as it is. Now, in this case, the topic sentence, the following pie chart depicts the type of commuting used daily in a European town in 2019, full stop. This is the first part of my answer, and I got the grade, the part of the grade. In the analysis, in this part, you analyze or interpret what you read in the chart, the percentages, the proportions, the numbers, etc. Let's see. Here is the pie chart for you. This is the analysis. The type of commuting used most in this town is bicycles. Write that down, please. Look at me, I wrote the percentage between brackets. Followed by buses, 30%, walking, 15%, and finally cars, 10%, respectively. What does respectively mean? As you say in math, consecutively or after each other, in that order if you want: 45, 30, 15, 10. Finished my analysis. Now the conclusion. What do you conclude? We conclude, I want at least one main point. We conclude that this town mostly uses eco-friendly ways to commute with cars which produce carbon dioxide that pollute the air being the least used method. Cars, the least used method of commuting. So I made one analysis. You can make another analysis, but I at least need you to include the point of being eco-friendly. Most of these people commute using eco-friendly methods. Why is it good to go by bus? Think of how many people could be in a bus: 35, 40, 50, depending on the size of the bus. If those people are riding cars, you could have at least 40 to 50 cars. Imagine what amount of CO2 each car would produce. So riding a bus would lessen the issue of carbon dioxide emissions. How do I write my answer? In all those, you write them in one paragraph. Please don't write it as if it were an essay. Here, your topic sentence. The following pie chart depicts, if you want to write shows, go ahead, the type of commuting used daily in a European town in 2019. Now, my analysis. The type of commuting used most, bicycles, followed by buses, walking, and cars, respectively, I analyzed. Now, one conclusion at least. Thus, you need to include the word thus. We conclude that this town mostly uses environmentally friendly ways to commute, with cars which produce carbon dioxide that pollute the air being the least used method of commuting. And that's it. I'm finished for today. Your assignment, which will of course be posted as a worksheet, are exercises B, C, D, and E. It won't take you long at all, page 24 in the ebook, but I did put them in one worksheet. So please work on it carefully, and for anything, please ask me during Zoom Live. See you and take care. Bye.